like we've got good sound going there.
We have Ronnie here with us today. We're going to put him right here in post editing, but he's actually sitting over here. We're going to be talking.
Are we on?
We're on.
This prevented the situation that we often have. We're running having to turn his head back and forth.
Right, just constantly looking, trying to go. Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah, having to look around him. Amos of the syrup can, that was a one of a kind.
He accused you too of putting your hand up in front of his face as you were animated.
Amos is real particular.
Well, since we have Ronnie here with us, we're going to be talking about a favorite subject of his, and that is guns, pistols, and rifles, and
Firearms.
Hey, do you know where the term gun came from?
Was it Lehman or Arthur? One of them?
No, it wasn't named after a person. There was back in the Middle Ages. You know what a trebuchet is? It's like a catapult.
Is it contained?
Weapon. They put a big stone in it, and they crank it.
Oh yeah, catapult.
And then it's a trebuchet is a version of the catapult.
Right.
And it comes around, it'll swing around, and then boom, it throws that stone over into the castle.
Yeah, right.
Well, the trebuchet got a name. It was after a word for a woman called a Gunhilda. It was a woman's name, Gunhilda. And eventually that evolved a German gun.
I thought I knew everything.
Gunhilda was German. Trebuchet is French word.
Trebuchet.
Yeah.
French.
But it was it came from that term, Gunhilda, for a woman's name. And
then the name, I guess, is shortened to Hilda.
Right. It just became gun.
Gunne.
G-U-N-N-E. It was the way it was spelled originally, and then they just shortened it.
Gunny, hadn't that something to do with it?
Or maybe that's where Gunny comes from.
Ronnie, if you keep broadening this discussion out, we're never going to get through it.
It's going to be...
But the firearms in general came from China. China, since they invented,
I thought they invented the gunpowder.
Since they invented gunpowder, they found a way to use it, and they called it a fire lance. It was a tube.
The gunpowder.
Can I talk? Should I finish? It was a tube. They put the powder in it, and they called it a fire lance. And that was the first known use of gunpowder.
Blowgun.
Yeah, like a blowgun, and it shot that thing, that ball out there. And that was the first use.
First gun.
That was the
what
first
year
gun.
was that?
998.
998. Was that before FDR?
It was in the 9th century, 10th century.
Yeah, that was a time ago.
And when did they get the idea of using it to kill other people?
Well, that was the original use for it, I imagine.
For war?
Yeah.
War, you think, was the original purpose of it?
I would imagine that catapult, that trebuchet, means breach the castle. Get over in there.
Well,
first gun.
Bless my soul. I would have thought it would have been for killing animals to eat or something.
Oh, I think that could have been part of it. But I think the first thought in their mind was, we can use this to gain advantage over our enemy.
Sure.
And that has, even today, that has become the widely used. That's the most widely used thing for a gun, as a protection, a weapon, a war. Yeah, I would think. I'm not sure.
As of recent times, though, a gun. In defense of the gun, which has been labeled so terribly as the evil thing, it is a tool, just like the founding of this country, just like a rake and a shovel and an iron or whatever. But
you talk louder for the microphone here. Since you're different, you're farther away from me.
You could move closer. No, you better not.
But I think the use of a weapon to hunt was probably went along about the same, because people had to eat in addition to defending themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they would use that to kill a beast or something to eat.
Well, it would keep you from having to jump out of a tree with a knife on the neck of some animal.
Fight that gator barehanded with a knife.
We saw Tarzan do that enough.
Well, it would seem that that's still the main purpose for guns, is war.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably still the main purpose of it, but we have to give credit to the hunters too. A lot of hunters will say, "No, I don't use guns for war. My purpose is for hunting, either for sport or for food."
That's right.
Well, that's all I've ever really used a gun for. Even when I was in Vietnam, I never shot nobody.
When do you first remember having a gun as a kid?
I think probably 10 years old, probably before that. 22 rifle.
Did you have a BB gun before you had a
Had a
rifle?
BB gun.
BB guns, yeah.
That's right. A Red Ryder BB gun.
Mhm.
My grandma used to get, I think she got me a new one, Ronnie, one year. BB gun.
Yeah, I remember shooting old Marty in the head with mine one time. Elevated.
We chased one another around, shot one another. That's how dangerous shit.
Didn't he have that pellet in his
Yeah,
head his whole life?
His hat, yeah.
It was like embedded in the skin there.
He'd come down from that tree, though.
Plus, he picked up TV stations real good.
Yeah. But a real gun, we started out with, I think, a 22. And then
Mostly the early days before
Papa
we
had
ever
a double
had it,
barrel.
we used a lighter nut
Shotgun.
shaped like a gun. If you remember.
Oh yeah, from
We
watching
played with
TV.
Yeah, right.
That's right. That's right.
But I can remember, I don't know, I was 10, 12 years old. I guess Daddy got me a 410 shotgun.
Yeah.
That was, I think,
Yeah, I
my
remember
first real
having a
gun.
20 gauge shotgun.
Yeah, gun safety. You remember having any lessons formal lessons on gun safety?
From Daddy, he said, "Don't point that at nobody."
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that wasn't formal. That wasn't formal. But usually you just get the gun and go out hunting, and some adults who would tell you, "Don't climb over that fence, son. Put that gun
It's a
down.
loaded gun, yeah.
Yeah, unload the gun."
Little things you picked up along
You
the
pick
way.
it up as you go along. It wasn't a big deal, gun safety.
The thing you remember about a gun is, you have to have the mindset, it's always loaded. If it's not, then it's useless. It's just a rock.
Well,
It's not a gun.
did the what use was the gun in the making of the history of the United States? How was the gun used to?
Well, to feed the people, as you've mentioned before, like killing things for meat, and in defense of themselves. When you were invading alien territory, and it belonged to them, you're going to have some resistance.
Cowboys and Indians.
That's right.
I think spears and bow and arrow were the original weapons. Rocks. You had to
Well, for
get a
primitive
rock.
man, yeah.
Primitive man, but even more than primitive. I mean, we used probably rocks and stones to fight wars.
Well,
I mean, the early medieval times, they poured when they were in the castle.
trebuchet. Trebuchet.
They climbed the ladders, like in David Crockett's Alamo. They climbed the ladders and they would pour hot water on them, or they would throw down rocks and stones on them.
Yeah. Or they had this instrument called the trebuchet.
Yeah.
Never mind.
What's the trebuchet?
You don't even remember. That was
Yeah,
my first.
all kinds of ways, it's just like they make noises currently in modern times about abolishing the evil gun. That's all you hear. Oh, gun. Well, let's abolish the hammer or the knife or the whatever. People kill other people with all kinds of things. That's
Well,
hard to-
in prisons, people get killed all the time, and they don't
with a
have
shield.
guns.
That's right.
In
It's a
prison.
spoon sharpened down, and they
Sharpened.
stick it in there.
Well, what I was trying to get at about the question about the development of our country, we, unlike many other countries, developed along a different kind of, because of the vastness of the country and the primitive tribes that were here, and we had all sorts of interwars with Mexico and with England to begin with and all that. And the pioneering, the frontier, taming the frontier.
Mhm.
What part did the gun play in that?
Well, it played a big part in our conquering of the West, because the Native Americans, they didn't have guns, and that was considered alcohol and guns to the Indians was considered a
No,
hanging offense.
That's right.
Because they'd get drunk and then they'd get guns and go on the warpath.
Well, Horace Smith and Daniel B. Wesson first invented the revolver, the cartridge revolver,
Did they? Okay.
in 1856. And that revolver was instrumental in the Civil War. The Model 1 cartridge revolver that Smith and Wesson invented. I said Weston, it's Wesson, Smith and Wesson. So that Civil War was a huge battle for us, our country.
But the old way of the cap and reaming it out and the powder and
One
all
shot
that,
at a time.
when they came out and created a cartridge that was smokeless and you could just load a number of them, that was a real giant
Smith and
leap
Wesson.
for firearms.
Yeah, invented that cartridge.
And on top of that, the repeating rifle, so that you could load, I don't know, 5, 10, 20, however many rounds, and you could just cock that thing.
Load it on Sunday and shoot it the next Saturday.
That's called in running police work firepower, right? There are classic textbook cases where the police pulled over a guy and they got like 10 shotguns and machine guns, and they're just they're outgunned. And so now the police, they carry some powerful weaponry because the speed of fire and how many rounds you've got makes the difference in winning or losing.
Well, when we were kids,
that's how we conquered the West.
We watched a lot of westerns, and a lot of our playtime was based on things that we saw in those westerns, like you alluded to a while ago, Ronnie, about the wooden pistol. But toys were made. There were toy guns shaped like western stars on How Gun Will Travel.
That's right.
The Rifleman.
Well, they made candy cigarettes then too. We went around smoking candy cigarettes.
Yeah, same thing. It was okay. It was all an economical thing. People want to make a buck on what's popular.
Right. Yeah. The things that kids see the adults do, the kids want to do. Smoking cigarettes is one. I was a big one for picking up mom and daddy's old cigarette butts and smoke, going around behind the shed and smoking them. Daddy caught me one time and he brought me home a big old cigar about that long and gave it to me to smoke. He thought it would make me sick. And I sat there and smoked the whole thing.
He held his gun on you while you smoked it.
Fortunately, I never did take up smoking though. That was a blessing.
Do we have
nails in your coffin?
Moving up to modern times, do we have any? Can anyone use a gun, or do we have any kind of restrictions?
No.
Age limits?
Using a gun is very much like driving a car. If you're not confident in driving the car, you shouldn't be out there driving it because you have to think fast. When you drive a car, the world is moving around you. Not only are you moving, but the world's moving around you. A gun is the same way. Many people today pick up a gun like they're picking up a rattlesnake.
Yep.
With 2 fingers.
Because they're scared of it.
Well, it's that built-in
the fear of
fear.
That gun.
You're supposed to be afraid of it when you're not.
Well,
you can take a loaded gun and lay it on the playground swing, and it won't do a thing. It'll lay there forever till some idiot picks it up and misuses it, and it gets a stigma attached to it.
That's true. That's true. But they are dangerous. Now, I had a situation where, there seems to be nowadays, I don't know where you notice a rash of suicides. Have you noticed that? In the world and even locally, sometimes there seems to be a little rash. Young people particularly get an idea that another kid and they get depressed because their girlfriend dropped them. And they think they can get killed and then get back up.
They need a job.
They probably need a job. They're bored or something.
That's right.
But, this idea, I never lock my gun up. I keep it loaded in the drawer right beside my bed. Otherwise, I would be able to find it if somebody broke in. But you have to really, when you have kids in the house, you do have to be responsible.
So you got to admit,
I'm not 100%.
Well, children are inquisitive by nature.
Yeah, you have to admit and know that there's a certain age of responsibility where a kid is not capable of making the judgment or how to use it. But training would help, even when they're in their like preteens and teenage.
Well,
kids.
The best training tool to show kids the seriousness of a firearm like that is if you have like a family pet, a cat or a dog.
And you shoot
them out, and you shoot it in front of the child, and you tell it it's not there. And that's what happens. That's the best.
That'd be very effective, yeah.
However, the ASPCA will be all over you.
Yeah, and the kid would probably have a nervous ticker.
Mom would probably divorce you.
Or she'd probably worse. She'd probably shoot you.
Or sew you up in a sheet, make you watch 24 hours of the Brady Bunch or something.
Okay, the modern gun, our concept of the guns and rifles. What are they used for today? For us common citizens.
Recreation.
Recreation.
Yes. Or law
Target
enforcement.
shooting, yeah.
Law enforcement. Authoritative law enforcement.
And
guns.
military, protect our
Military,
country,
sure.
they have guns. But for a citizen, like an old guy like me, what do I need, Pretel, a gun for? Well, I'd say protection.
Sure.
If you've ever, and I have always owned a gun, there's been times I thought somebody was in the house and I was like, had the scissors sneaking around the hallway in the corner with a pair of scissors. What the heck am I going to do with those scissors?
Well, the other night,
if you don't have a way to protect yourself, what would you do?
it was
If somebody got in your
it
house.
was just 2 or 3 nights ago. We were laying there trying to go to sleep. Everything was dark. It was 9 or 10 o'clock. And Gly says, "What was that noise?" I said, "What
It was
noise?"
way blinking my eye.
She said, "That noise. It sounded like the door opening and banging shut." First thing I grabbed for him, my little .38 revolver on the side. So I got my revolver and I walked around checking to see if somebody was breaching the castle, you know. But they
Boil some water.
I didn't have no bows and arrows or knives, but I had that .38 pistol. And it does give us a level of comfort knowing that we can protect our life and ourselves.
And it's incumbent upon everyone. You can't depend on picking up the phone and dialing 911 and they're there knocking on the door. It may be an hour. It may be next week before one shows up. You got to be prepared for it.
Well, another thing you have to be prepared for if you have a gun is the legal implications, because a lot of people say, "Boy, if he comes to my door, I'm gonna blow him away."
Yeah,
But think about that. What if it's you forgot that your teenagers come in late and you forgot, or what if sometimes we have a grandson that stays with us. Sometimes he'll come into our bedroom and walk, and he'll wake me up. He's standing at the foot of the bed. He could easily get shot. He's not thinking about I might get shot.
There's, older kids like that, they can just go over and walk in your door thinking it's their house.
That's right.
If they're mentally handicapped or autistic or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, the thing about it is you have to have some idea about how, when you shoot, when you propel a projectile out of a gun, you have to know where it's going. You can't, that's why so many of these people shooting them up and hoorahing, that bullet, what goes up comes down. Well, it falls somewhere.
There's also a thing in the law called imminent danger, right? You probably can define it better than I can, but you can't just shoot somebody just because he's in your house. You're liable to get prosecuted for that. If he's running and you shoot him in the back and he hadn't quite made it to the back door yet, you could be prosecuted, maybe.
What time we got here? 18.
It depends on where you live. If you live in New York, you're definitely going to go to jail, right? Down here in the South, maybe not.
Yeah, it depends on the region you live in.
But you are supposed to, and this goes to critical thinking and fast thinking, there's an imminent danger that he would do you harm or hurt you or your loved ones. You got to make that decision. You can't just shoot him because he's in your house.
But the response to that is, Lord, when times are critical and you actually use a firearm, anybody that's ever done it will tell you, you don't remember doing it. It's a training thing.
That's
you
right.
do it and you react. And you have to be able to do it now and not think, well, where's the safety? Where's this? Where's that? You do it instinctively.
That's like motorcycle riding.
That's why training is so much repetition about it, because your muscle memory will kick in and you'll do it. I know I've been in instances where everything's settled down and you realize you're holding your gun and you never remember drawing it. You just knew it might be have to have it.
Well, is it possible then, as a defense, people say, I don't remember doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a murder trial. I don't remember even doing it. I guess that's a valid possibility, huh?
That's like, that goes right along with that pleading insanity.
Along with insanity, yeah.
Well, Ronnie, what about...
See, here's the old kicker, too. And a lot of police, and their theory is, I'd rather be tried than viewed. It's in defense of your life. See, you have strong wills, hunger, thirst, sex, and survival. It's hard to kill a person. You start stabbing somebody, you think, man, when is this guy going to die? I'm wore out, And you keep on. Whereas they depict on television, he wings him and he's dead. Well, that's not right.
He just falls over.
That's right. When you shot or whatever, you can fight on. Well, you learn in the military. Just because you got shot 4 or 5 times don't mean you just give up, lay there and die. You fight
All
back.
the adrenaline.
So there's a lot of life in a human body or an animal even.
Well, Ronnie, that's
The
that's
will
why
to live is strong.
I know you spent your career in police work, and I did some of that in the military, and plus my military training. Do they not train you when you shoot somebody? How many times do you shoot them? Just one time, and then you look and see if they're...
You never remember how many times.
But what are you trained to do?
Well,
2 or 3 times, right? I mean, a lot of times on the
Yeah.
news we say, well, you shot him 6 times. Yeah, he got away from me. I
Why
started
did
shooting
you shoot this man 15 times? Well, we ran out of bullets.
But you are trained to shoot multiple times.
Sure,
Right?
yeah.
You got to knock him down.
You got to knock him down, and you want to make sure he's dead. Well, I mean, the first shot,
2 to the chest, 1 to the head.
there you go.
We used
You're
to
trying to do that.
We used to train, Lord, this time. We used to go do the mace thing, you know,
Right.
and they was training us, and I brought this up, and they told me, Albritton, it used to say, anybody got anything besides Albritton? And I always bring something up. He'd say, look, this is going to look bad on the news. We need to call the lieutenant and ask him about this. But we were spraying the guy. You paint him with a spray, then you step back, you pull your gun, and you shoot him twice in the chest and once in the head. I said, this is going to look really bad on the news. Whenever he's rolling around the ground, and you're capping him a couple of times, and he says, shoot him in the head, and you've sprayed him, give him time, you know. He said, you may have somewhere. Let me call the lieutenant. Well, it changed the whole training. Thanking everybody, man, thank you. We cut out all that mace training.
Well, what are some of the well-crafted gun brands that we have today?
Oh gosh, there's a lot of them. Yeah, it's
Smith &
Smith and
Wesson.
Wesson and Colt lead the pack because they've been around so long. But you've got Ruger.
What about the
Sturm Ruger?
a German Austrian gun? That
Taurus guns. You're talking
Glock.
about Glock.
Glock. Yes.
Ghastly
I
Glock.
wish we had something here to show.
Here, I have some.
Oh, gosh.
Here you go, right here.
You carry that thing loaded, right?
Oh yes, it would be useless otherwise.
So, Glocks are traditionally known not to have a safety.
That's right.
In my
The safety is
estimation.
the finger. You keep it off of
Well, and this is what they
the magazine.
call. This is the magazine.
Not a
A lot
clip.
of people call
Not
it
a
a
clip.
clip.
What,
Yeah.
is this a 9mm on here?
It's a 9mm. It's a baby Glock 26.
Baby Glock.
Baby
Because
Glock.
I've got a Model 39 that shoots 45. It only shoots 5,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's about
It's
this
a bigger
size.
bullet. It's a bigger bullet. Yeah.
It's about this size.
Yeah. Plus, that's a double stack. See, right here it's stacked double. So I got 10 bullets in this little gun here.
And that makes the handle a little bigger to hold up.
It does, right?
Don't you have kind of a small hand?
Yeah, yeah. But you
Well, that's
have-
why I like that single stack that I have, because I have small hands.
Right.
And it was easier to grip.
Well, what makes this one special compared to say Taurus or
Well,
Colt?
Well, Taurus, and a lot of them that used to be considered a lesser grade, but Taurus, along with Ruger and all kinds of guns now have come out of the wood, and they're all. I bought a Ruger RXM recently, one of my latest acquisitions, and it's compatible to the Glock 19, which is a little bit bigger gun than that. It's a medium size, but all the inner parts changed. The little trigger in the trigger is the safety there.
Now, the model number of the gun
Mhm.
usually denotes the caliber of the bullet it shoots, right?
Well, if you know them, see, this is a Glock 26, but it shoots a 9mm. But now I've got a Glock 30, which shoots a 45 caliber. It's
So
a
the numbers
compact
don't the same,
45.
but they do
Yeah.
change according
Oh
to
yeah,
the...
yeah, right. But these patent numbers, like the Glock, the Glock 26, this was Gaston Glock's 26th patent.
Oh, I see.
So that's what those are based on. The 17 was his first one, then the 19. Then,
But like my old 410 shotgun,
Mhm.
it's called a 410 shotgun because it shoots the 410
410
gauge
gauge
shotgun
shotgun.
shell. Same with a 22 rifle, it
Mhm.
shoots a 22 shell.
Mhm.
So when they came up with different models, they shot the same shell.
Yeah.
So they had to designate them a different
Change
name.
description, right?
Well, Ronnie, let me ask you a question. You consider yourself a gun expert. You probably testified in court as a gun expert, have you not?
Yep.
and you shot competitively.
Right.
The regular person who's not highly skilled anywhere near like where you are, what would be the best home protection gun that would you recommend?
A revolver.
That's what I have.
A revolver, you can see the thing turn. If there's a problem with it, you can look right at it. Whereas this, if you're not used to using a semi-automatic weapon like this is, first thing, where's the safety? Well, some have them, some don't.
Yeah.
You have decockers, which drops the hammer, that makes it safe. All kinds of things to think about. And when you have to think about that, unless you practice regularly, you're going to have to think about it. You're already a step behind. If somebody's throttling you or threatening to kill you.
Well, what about long guns? What about a shotgun or a rifle for home protection? Are
Sure.
those
Shorter the barrel, the better. I've got one
Shorter
about
the
that
barrel.
long.
Well,
Shotgun.
what makes a good gun? As opposed to a crummy gun?
Functionality, extracting,
It works every
loading
time.
without problem. Smooth operation.
Can you depend on the quality of the gun being synonymous with the maker and
Well, it has become that.
the price
Sure,
or
yeah, most
quality?
at price too, but some of them they're overpriced and they're show guns. But a gun, that's what I used to preach before I retired. The Glock, and we rode revolvers for years, and then we went semi-automatic Beretta. Then we went up from the 9mm to the 40 caliber, which is a bigger bullet, and I retired with that 40 caliber Beretta. But I used to preach Glock, but everybody said, "No, we don't want a plastic gun." Well, after I retired, Florida Highway Patrol went to the plastic gun. They went to the Glock.
That's not plastic.
No, this is.
Oh, part of it is plastic.
But that's not. Yes. See, let me show you.
Barrel and
When you disassemble it, see, there's your plastic right there. There's your,
Oh, yeah, that's
there's
very
your
light.
guide rod, there's your barrel, and here's your slide. See, that's called field stripping. But you can go
plastic.
further and take these apart. So you slide this off, your striker in here. So you push this, you hear that little thing? That's your firing pin in there. You can
this is
disassemble that.
metal. Is that metal?
Oh, yeah.
What's this
Yeah,
called?
heavy
The
there,
slide?
That's your slide.
It's your slide. Slides up on top of this.
Mhm.
It slides in there like that.
The metal parts you can use is
You know, Ronnie,
paperweights.
in the Marine Corps, we used to use the old Colt 1911A, was it? It was used since World War One.
That are 45.
45. And we had to take it apart, but get mine.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah,
was
Colt
part of our training.
1911.
Same
I've
way
got
with
a
the
Colt
14 rifle.
1911 A1 is whenever they expanded the trigger, the sights, the mechanism, and all that. But I've got an original 45 that's
Now that original 45, this one you mashed a little clip here, and you disassembled and slid it out. That old 45, it had a little thing on the end. What do you call that? A little
you
rotating.
spin it over and
You
disassemble.
spin it over one way,
Mhm.
and then you had to spin it over the other
That's
way
right,
to
to
get
take
back.
it out. That's right.
Yeah, it was a little bit complicated.
Yeah, it is.
To do, but they've simplified that.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I've never seen that on any other gun.
So this Glock, that's made in Austria, right?
Right. Well, they're made now. Like you went by there.
They're right. I used to go by the
Took all
factory
mine,
in Smyrna,
yeah.
Georgia.
Philip used to take mine by. For it's a lifetime thing. They'll add new parts, new magazines, and all that.
Yeah, we're running out of time here, as always, especially on an interesting topic like this. So we're going to have to close it off. You got anything else you want to add, Lloyd?
No, I think Philip, you being the artiste, the passive sort of non-violent person that you are, you had specified that we didn't want to get political about this, so we do not intend any political statement in anything we're talking about.
Well, we're just trying to be as objective as possible. But stay
Informative. Yeah.
Informative.
Yeah.
I think we've accomplished that. So we'll end it here. And
But guns have become one of the political hotbeds of discussion.
yeah, well, we didn't want
And we'll continue ever more.
our discussion didn't want to go that route. We were
See,
just informative.
Well, are we on the air still? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, this gun now, has a round in it, you can still fire it. You don't need this. Some guns, when you take the magazine out, they won't shoot. It's a safety
You got to
thing.
throw that one out.
But you'd have to extract
Eject
that.
it. Yeah.
Have
See,
one
I was
in the
loading
tank.
it back up. You see, it's got one in there. So
So if you pulled it back now, you'd pop that one out.
that's right. That's right.
And that allows you to have one extra round
Exactly.
by putting one
It
in the
will.
chamber. This might be the one that saves your life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has been fun, y'all, and we'll take up another discussion later, on maybe more specific on rifle or something like that, since we didn't talk much about rifle.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Well, whenever I have questions about guns, I always call Ronnie. So if you want to give Ronnie's phone number out,
BR549.
BR549.
But we want to tell everyone you can see us on Vimeo, the video version of this, if you're just listening to the podcast. We are an audio podcast, but you can see a video on Vimeo or YouTube. So we're going to say so long for now.